Good morning, friends. Let's make a little introduction about the meaning of food. The first thing we ever did in our life is feeding ourselves, from breastfeeding to our daily breakfast. It is still today our first ritual of the day, and then we do everything else. But food is many things. It also brings people together, like fire, music, and so on. So being about conviviality, we don't forget the table conversation either. At the center of it, there is this need to communicate. And not only. Food is what we are, and it brings us energy. Energy to give to this world. So let's be good with ourselves, to be good to the world too. Today I went to the market with Lisa, and I couldn't resist. I thought of a delicious Sicilian recipe, full of flavor. Remember that in every recipe we need a little bit of everything. Sweetness, bitterness, creaminess, crunchiness, and freshness, like in life. So we mix different colors and flavors to our recipes. To add flavor to what we cook, we add spices, remember, not too much sugars or salt. It depends, of course, on what we're cooking. The recipes of today are spiced eggplant meatballs on pumpkin puree and diced peppers with chili and sea bass. Let's see how to make these tasty, healthy recipes together. So as you can see, we have all our fresh ingredients ready to use. I'm gonna briefly tell you which are the main ingredients. So we have the butternut squash already chopped. Then I'm gonna cook it with nigella seeds, coconut butter, and herbs. Then we have, for the meatballs of aubergine, for the aubergine balls I will need ginger, cumin and sesame, raisins, goat cheese aromatized with herbs and chili oil, oregano and breadcrumb. Then we have our puree of butternut squash, super fresh, and then I'm gonna cook it with herbs and leeks. Then we have our fresh vegetables, seasonal, here, ready to be cooked. The first thing I'm gonna do is the puree of butternut squash that cooks quite a lot, 1 hour and a half. First I chop the leeks and I let them cook with oil and coconut butter for 20 minutes over low heat. Then I add the butternut squash with water. I add the thyme. I let it cook for 1 hour and a half. Then I take out the thyme and I mix all together and it's ready. Then I start cooking the aubergine in the oven. As you can see, I chop them and I add only oil, oregano and salt. When they become brownish, they're ready to be cooked as balls. But first we cook them in the oven. Then, while the butternut squash is cooking, I chop the peppers that I'm gonna add to the sea bass. I cut them thin so they don't have to cook too much. I love peppers because they're sweet, full of flavor, and they add color to every dish. They stay crunchy. It's one of my favorite vegetables. The leek absorbed all the water, so I'm adding a bit of oil and our coconut butter. Over low flame, so we keep the vitamins, the fat doesn't burn, and it becomes super tasty. Then, when it is melted, the butter, I can add the butternut squash. I add the water, I cover it with all the spices. I will show you. As you can see, while I cook the leek, I also added the rest of peppers from yesterday, yellow pepper, because we don't waste food, and then the herbs, while the sauté is cooking, so they lose their flavor. Let's remember that we have to take them out once the puree is ready, because they become very bittery while they cook. Then I add the boiling water So they basically cook with the leek, the coconut butter, and the herbs, sage and thyme. I cover them. In 1 hour, they're ready. Now the aubergine are ready. I already mixed them, as you can see. So once the aubergine are ready, I mix them with the mini pinner till they become a cream. Now I can add all the ingredients. Raisins, fresh oregano, ginger, cheese, goat cheese, sesame and cumin, and breadcrumb. I'm using a gluten-free breadcrumb because it is healthier and it is super tasty anyway. Then I mix all the cream together. Mamma mia, the smell of the cumin with the oregano and the cheese, it is amazing, really. So we mix everything properly together. Because it is too creamy, I'm gonna add more breadcrumb. And now we are ready to make our small balls of aubergine, ready to fry. We fry them and we add them to the puree of butternut squash. I decided to add also a bit of mint because it is actually missing a bit of freshness. So I just put it all over like this. Mint and aubergine, I would say, like with basil, is an amazing combination. So as you can see, friends, I already prepared the cannelle of aubergines, and now I'm gonna fry them in sunflower oil, and then they're ready.
Hello, I'm Lisa Pelosi and I'll take you through the nutritional values of this Mediterranean feast Francesca prepared for you. Main ingredient of this meal is freshwater sea bass, which is a great source of lean protein and vitamin B12. It has almost no fat and certainly no carbohydrates or sugars. We then have butternut squash and aubergines, both very low in calories, so a great choice for anyone interested in weight loss. They are very high in many nutrients, including vitamin A, C, magnesium, and potassium, which will protect you against cancer, as they have antioxidant properties that can defend against cellular damage. They also prevent heart diseases because they help with blood sugar control and mental decline. Lastly, to boost your immune system and increase your vitamin C intake, you have red peppers. They are rich in many vitamins, antioxidants, and carotenoids, which will improve eye health and reduce risk of several chronic diseases. So enjoy this healthy Mediterranean feast and see you next time.